This is NTA News 24. Hello and welcome to the news at 10. My name is Blessing Abu.
And I'm Elizabeth Omori. Thank you so much for joining us. Now let's take the headlines.
Nigerian Air Force in yet another successful air interdiction operation in Borno State.
Women rights group step up advocacy against violence extremism.
Establishment of agro-processing zones across the country energized with $500 million from Nigeria and African Development Bank.
And West African sub-region gang up against COVID-19.
Now, the news in full. The federal government has been called upon to intensify efforts towards addressing security challenges in the country.
Emir of Katsina, Abdul Mumutni Kabir Usman met the call when a federal government delegation led by the Chief of Staff to the President, Abba Kyari, visited him in his palace to commiserate with him over recent killings by armed bandits at Sanwa and Dakar villages in Batsari local government area of the state. Abdul Malik Hassan reports.
The Emir expressed dismay over the unfortunate circumstance, noting that protection of lives and property is the responsibility of all and sundry, stressing that no state or country can be effectively governed with crisis. He appreciated President Muhammadu Buhari for sending the delegation to commiserate with the families of the victims as well as the people of the state. Briefing the entourage at the government house, Governor Aminu Masari identified lack of education as one of the factors contributing to the wanton killings in some parts of the country. He said investigation is ongoing and the state government will continue to top its strategies until such heinous crimes are addressed. Earlier, the senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Malan Garbashew, said the visit was to commiserate with the families of the deceased. He said the president prayed for the repose of the soul of the deceased and reiterated continued commitment of the federal government in the fight against insurgency and the activity of bandits. In Katsina, Abdul Malik Hassan, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Air Force says it has carried out another successful air raid in its ongoing air interdiction campaign dubbed Operation Rattlesnake 3 at Kirita Awulgo in Borno State. In a statement by NAV Director, Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ibikunle Daramola, the Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Dole destroyed an Islamic State of West African province, a swap training camp at Kirita Awulgo on the fringes of the Lake Chad in the northern part of Borno State on 16 February 2020. This followed credible intelligence reports and surveillance missions, which established that some structures within the settlement were being used by the terrorists to house and train their fighters. Consequently, the Air Task Force dispatched an enhanced force package of attack aircraft to engage the identified locations within the state settlement. The fighter jets took turns attacking the target area in successive passes, taking out the training facilities.
And the Northeast Development Commission has reached out to 4,000 victims of insurgency attack on Awano community in Konduga local government area of Borno State.
This followed the assessment visit by Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Sadia Umar Farouk, and the Northeast Development Commission. Naomi Abwaku reports.
More than 800 households received food and non-food items as a way of meeting the immediate needs of affected persons after the assessment by Northeast Development Commission in synergy with national and state emergency management agencies. 1,000 households have been targeted by NEDC. However, most members of the community have fled the town. Managing Director Dr. Muhammad Gwani Alkali gave the assurance of the federal government's commitment to rebuild all destroyed houses and business facilities to enable the people regain their means of living.
We discovered that there need humanitarian assistance. This is why I brought this quantity of food items so that we will have some stabilizing effect on what happening.
We have to be very, very on top of situation. The vision of the governor is to close camp, but we still receive new arrivals.
The managing director, NEDC, had also extended palliative support to new arrivals stranded in front of one of the IDPs camps in Maiduguri with no warm clothing, food and place to settle. The over 300 people, mostly women and children from Kaimla and Alo, both in Kondiga local government, were discovered following a passionate appeal that went viral on the social media. In Maiduguri, Naomi Aboku, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the National Forum on Preventing Violent Extremism and the Protection of Women's Rights are strategizing on best practices in tackling increasing cases of abuse amongst women. Francis Form reports.
Sexual violence against women that include rape and other forms of abuses are of concern to many, especially its effects on the society.
I refuse to allow him.
It is against this that this panel of discussants are addressing current method of preventing violent extremism and the protection of women's rights.
Some are abducted and forced to be part of it. And so having realized that that life is worthless, most of them take the risk of escaping from the hideout.
Without a public participation, without a public buy-in, there's nothing government, apart from government not fulfilling their own part.
The parents have a vital role to play, not just only the government. The mothers are at the middle, they are at the center.
Participants like Bethel from the Civil Society Legislative Advocacy is canvassing for more holistic approach, especially in constant engagement with the victims.
The search for common ground has really given us a better platform to air our views so that they are able to push for preventing violent extremism in a very, very, very effective way. The
meeting is organized by Search for Common Ground and the United Nations Women to promote and protect women's rights. Francis from NTA News.
Now let's draw attention to legislative matters now. The House Committee on Environment has resolved to oversight the Ogoni cleanup project to ascertain the level of adherence to the conditions of the United Nations Environment Programme and that of the federal government.
The committee's chairman, Johnson Egwahide Ugoma, at a meeting with officials of the Federal Ministry of Environment and other key players, gave the word to achieve the target of the project. National Assembly correspondent Abdullahi Aminu reports.
This is the second sitting of the investigative hearing on the Ogoni cleanup project by the House Committee. Submissions were made by the Federal Ministry of Environment, Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, and the National Oil Spill Detection Remediation Agency, NOSDRA, among other stakeholders, on the slow phase of the project.
Every single running of the system is between the Governing Council and the BOT for implementation, and it is clearly, the steps and processes are clearly defined in the Gazette.
We have 21 contractors on ground doing remediation work.
We will go there, monitor what is being done, and then ensure that the cleanup is done to all practical purposes.
We do not want to remember the things that led to that pollution.
Committee members suggested the need to inspect the level of remediation work and the independence of the Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project Office.
Now we are talking about Ogoni cleanup because of the pressure from the Ogoni people, and we know that long ago they've been suffering from this pollution.
The committee also advised on proper publication of the contracts allocation processes, youth involvement in the project, and provision of an integrated contaminated soil research center within the area. From the National Assembly, Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
The federal government says it is committed towards ensuring that special agro-processing zones are established in the country as proposed by the African Development Bank. This is coming as Nigeria and the African Development Bank set aside $500 million for the project. Musa Babaliu has details.
It is an agricultural development project designed by the African Development Bank towards upscaling agricultural productivity in Nigeria. The project is to be jointly funded by the bank, federal government, and participating states. Agricultural clusters are to be established in Abuja, Benue, Kano, and Ogun State under the program. The target crops are cereals, vegetables, cocoa, cotton, livestock including dairy and hides and skin. This forum is therefore organized for discussions on how the takeoff of the project will look like, as well as examine the commitment of the relevant stakeholders.
You need such collaboration between the agricultural sector and the industrial sector so that you can move the economy forward, you can create employment opportunities.
I would like to underline the invaluable support and contribution of the African Development Bank by setting aside the sum of $500 million for this initiative.
If plan is well executed, the construction of infrastructure for the special agro-processing zones will commence before August. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
And in other news, the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, has described as baseless, unfounded and mischievous reports in the social media indicating that President Muhammadu Buhari is billed to proceed on a 20-day vacation to the United Kingdom, Saudi Arabia and Austria. Reacting to the report, the presidential spokesperson maintained that the purveyors of fake and concocted information are currently on override, urging Nigerians to be careful what they consume.
Got many calls, many inquiries, whether this was true or not. But of course, there is no truth to it at all. It's just the handiwork of mischievous people who want to cause disaffection, dissatisfaction in the country. We know that Nigeria has been passing through challenging times in the past couple of weeks, particularly due to security challenges. Now they have added disinformation to it. Transportation Minister was said to have been attacked at Rigasa in Kaduna. He has denied it. The Air Force was alleged to have killed 250 insurgents. They have denied it. Zara, the daughter of the president, was said to have got a job through the back door as a deputy manager at the Petroleum Products Pricing Regulatory Agency. There is no truth to it. Merchants of falsehood are on the prowl and they don't mean our country any good. People who are designing should please note that they are out for disaffection and be careful. Be careful what you accept, be careful the information you consume, and then the information you share.
Femi Adesina said Nigerians must learn to be discriminatory about what they accept as credible information without authentication, so as to collectively beat the malevolent minds of the pernicious games.
In the same vein, the NTA has been informed of a fake Facebook account, NTA Nigerian News, operated by one Solomon Adeolu Adekunle, posting unpleasant items and views purportedly by the NTA. The general public is hereby alerted that this is not NTA verified Facebook account and should be discountenanced by the numerous followers of NTA on our social media platforms. NTA does not and has never operated with the name NTA Nigerian News. The public is enjoined to beware of these scammers who may be using their accounts to dupe unsuspecting users. Facebook has been notified of the fake account. Please be cautious, and this disclaimer is signed by NTA management. This news is broadcast live on NTA News 24 Abuja. We have more news to come.
West Africa seek regional measures to check coronavirus. Join us for details when we return.
Thank you for staying tuned into News at 10. Now, the West Africa sub-region is developing far-reaching regional measures to prevent the spread of coronavirus, known as COVID-19, in the sub-region.
Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports that the development was the outcome of the Regional Health Ministers meeting of Economic Community of West African States held in Bamako, Mali.
The strategic preparedness measure to prevent the spread of coronavirus COVID-19 to the West African region is coordinated by the West African Health Organization WAO with support from state actors. Minister of State for Health Olorunimbe Mamora explains that the emergency meeting became necessary owing to the rising cases of the virus in China and the need to develop a unified regional approach against the global health threat. He says laboratory preparedness, surveillance and quarantine, accurate and timely communication as well as key players' engagement are immediate measures to implement on the agenda.
Work closely with the relevant authorities of national government and the Chinese government to monitor and assure the health situation of our citizens resident in China.
We have had suspected cases, and that's the number in these countries in West Africa, all of which have tested negative.
The minister dispelled rumors making the rounds that Nigerians resident in China who indicated interest of return to the country in the outbreak of the epidemic in China were neglected and emphasized personal hygiene as precautionary measures against the respiratory tract infection. The current statistics of COVID-19 shows 69,267 cases, out of which China represents 99%, while 727 cases are shared by 25 countries, including a confirmed case in Egypt. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
Still on health matters, the Sustainable Development Goal, that is SDG 3.3, is on global eradication of hepatitis before the year 2030.
Kenneth Nanem reports that the National Orientation Agency, in collaboration with Mike Omotosho Foundation, is championing the campaign urging the general public to go for hepatitis screening and vaccination as a way of containing the virus amid the SDG's set goals.
Hepatitis is a viral disease that attacks the human liver and has been categorized into A, B, C, D, and E. The virus is often referred to as a silent killer because its symptoms are just like other common ailments and one may not be quick to suspect it. Report by the World Health Organization reveals that about 27 million Nigerians are living with the virus and 5 million of this population are aware of their status. The National Orientation Agency is worried about the remaining 22 million Nigerians who live with the virus and are not aware of their status. This deadly virus could be contracted through blood transfusion, sexual intercourse, as well as contact with body fluids of infected persons. But the chilling news here is that the prevalent hepatitis B virus could be contained through vaccination. It therefore becomes imperative that everyone, including children, should go for screening and vaccination.
The awareness creation gives us the power to consciously seek to know our status, and if negative, then get vaccinated. But if positive, then get counseled on how to manage the condition.
Hepatitis B has a vaccine, but it is also unfortunate because for those that are not protected, if they contract hepatitis B, it is for life. Because yes, it has a treatment, but it does not have a cure.
Having put the issues in perspective, attention was moved to the screening and vaccination points provided for the general public at the office of the National Orientation Agency.
I don't know that children used to take under the age of 5, but now I can go and give my child vaccine.
The campaign is also urging the public to continue to create more awareness, get more people screened and vaccinated, and treated against this killer disease, especially in the rural communities. Kenneth Nanem, NTA News.
Away from health matters to politics. The Federal High Court in Abuja has restrained the Independent National Electoral Commission from deregistering 31 political parties.
The political parties were among the 74 whose registration were withdrawn by INEC on February 6, 2020 due to alleged poor performance in the 2019 general elections. Olabode Arewa tells us more.
The Federal High Court in Abuja on Monday restrained the Independent National Electoral Commission from deregistering the 31 political parties on the grounds that the parties' application for a restraining order was not opposed by INEC. The 31 political parties and 2 others had filed an application on the 30th of October 2019, expressing the fear that they were going to be deregistered by INEC in violation of the law. While their suit was pending, INEC went on to deregister 74 political parties, including 31 of the 33 plaintiffs. Delivering a ruling on the plaintiffs' application, Justice Anwuli Chikere held that INEC failed to file a counter-affidavit to oppose the claims of the plaintiffs. Although INEC, through his lawyer Taminu Inuwa SAN, claimed that the electoral umpire was not served with the processes filed by the plaintiffs, the judge noted that there was proof in the cause file that INEC had indeed been served. The judge ruled that since no counter-affidavit was filed, the facts sworn to in the affidavit in support of the application remained unchallenged, undisputed, and deemed to be true. The Attorney General of the Federation and INEC are the 2 respondents in the matter. The court has adjourned the matter till February 27, 2020 for hearing in the substantive suits. The plaintiffs in the matter are the Advanced Congress of Democrats, filing on behalf of 30 other political parties. In Abuja, Olabode, NTA News.
Adequate data collection and proper infrastructure have been highlighted as key in achieving Nigeria's diaspora voting. Speaking on NTA's current affairs program, Nigeria Today, Abdulrahman Terab, Head Technology Transfer and Innovation, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, noted that there are many checks in achieving diaspora voting in Nigeria, as Nigerians living in the diaspora contribute largely to the development of the country.
Electoral committees are understanding the reason why there is the need to give this a thought, and nobody is saying, like we keep saying, it's a one-time process. It has to be taken very, very gradually. We can start with just a country or 2 with particular stages of election.
He further stressed that the need to create awareness on giving Nigerians living in the diaspora a sense of belonging is key.
The Commission itself and the intent of the current diaspora policy of the country is to ensure that those people who are in the diaspora and who have not forgotten the country and who have in so many ways immensely trying to interact and engage the country in developmental efforts shouldn't be forgotten. They should be given that sense of belonging, they should be given that sense of pride, and then they should also be identified with so that they come back and continue the process of development.
Nigeria Today airs weekdays on NTA News 24 at 7:30 p.m.
Let's now pause for some business news. A development professional says the absence of skill acquisition promotes quackery in the discharge of professional duties and results in insufficient satisfaction for clients and financial dependence by stakeholders. Kolo Mohammed has details.
Welcome, and it's good to have you along. It certainly helps to have strong technology skills for expertise in a key area beyond graduation from tertiary institutions to drive sustainable advancement in entrepreneurship.
You know, there's no country that develops without sharpening its own skills, particularly within the bracket of entrepreneurship and business development. Now, what I think many people seem to get wrongly is the fact that they think that having attained a higher institution, getting a certificate, automatically qualifies them to be where they're supposed to be, either as professionals or as entrepreneurs. No, it goes way beyond that. Skill acquisition is the central idea of entrepreneurship. Skill development and equally redevelopment of those skills. Like you see, the tech world is taking over the greater chunk of the global economy simply because the infusion of skill is the #1 priority in value addition.
The first day of trading for the week on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange returned negative sentiment. Let's now let you see where market indices were placed for Monday. My name is Kulu Muhammad. Good to have you along.
Governors of the 36 states of the Federation have been charged to collaborate with the Federal Inland Revenue Service towards ensuring prompt deduction and remittance of taxes accrued to the federal government.
The chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service, Muhammad Nami, gave the charge while interacting with the Ogun State Governor, Prince Dakpo Abiodun in Abeokuta. Details of this report will come later. Harnessing demographic data for effective national planning and development was the focus of the 2020 retreat of the National Population Commission held in Uyo. The annual event brought together experts in relevant fields and stakeholders to brainstorm and prefer new insights that will bring the much desired paradigm shift in population matters. Ifoma Ayojoke reports.
The 2020 retreat of the National Population Commission targets providing holistic workable strategies and solutions that will empower the government to harness reliable demographic data to effectively plan towards the good of every Nigerian.
We actually need to put our heads together, get resource persons, get external people. Let us see how do we use demographic data to benefit the lives of Nigerians. We want to turn data into Naira. This is the essence of population.
Partners at the event expressed faith that the outcome of the retreat will provide guidelines that will ensure generation of an accurate and dependable data bank for genuine national development. Akwa Ibom State Government commends and pledges support to the federal government's commitment towards thorough generation of data for implementation of government policies and programs.
The nation awaits the outcome of the next census with all hope of nationalistic excellence.
The place of the legislature is one. We will assist them in making appropriate laws and statutes. We will assist them to get proper funding.
In Uyo, Ifoma Ayojoke, NTA News.
You're watching the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Now the question, is verbalizing your thoughts legit? Join us again for details.
Advertising your goods and services on the right channel gives you an edge over your competitors. NTA News 24 has all the platforms for your target audience. The station is on DSTV channel 419, GoTV channel 46, StarTimes channel 101, and Free TV channel 703. With our digital format and wide range, we can reach your customers in next to no time. We are eager to promote your business, goods and services. So partner with us for a very rewarding business experience. For more information, please call Henry 0803-379-0884 or visit our office at NTA headquarters in 11 Gate Abuja. NTA News 24. News and more news.
Glad to know you're still there. Now let's shift attention to education. Tertiary institutions in Nigeria that involve in admitting candidates outside the central admission process system will be sanctioned.
Minister of Education Adamu stated these are the headquarters of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, in Abuja. Olayinka Ojo reports.
The introduction of the Central Admission Processing System (CAPS) into tertiary institutions' admission process has brought fairness, discipline, and equity into the process of admission of students. But some tertiary institutions found wanting in the admission processes have been on hold until the right things are done. The Education Minister sees it as an act of corruption.
I therefore urge all institutions to pay and play according to the rules by conducting all the admission processes only through CAPS.
It is few hours to the closure of JAMB's 2020 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination Registration Portal, as there will be no extension of registration. And all is set for the commencement of the UTME mock examination, expected to take more than 300,000 candidates across the nation.
We are also automating our mock this year. There are even centers where there are no students physically will still be automated and used for the examination.
Centers across the country will be conducting the UTME mock examination. Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
And away from education, President Muhammadu Buhari has described the governor of Kaduna State, Nasiru Ahmad El-Rufai, as a courageous and outstanding public servant who takes bold decisions that positively touch on people's lives.
The president stated this in a message to an event marking the governor's 60th birthday celebration in Kaduna. Mohammed Omar Ajingi reports.
It is a remarkable day, and what a unique way of celebrating it. Born on the 16th of February 1960, Governor Nasiru Ahmad El-Rufai turns 60. The celebration began Monday morning with prominent Nigerians joining him. Minister of Environment Mahmoud Muhammad presented President Muhammadu Buhari.
Governor of the non-too-easy-to-govern Kaduna State, have marked you out as an outstanding public servant.
Senate President Ahmad Lawal, Emir of Kano Muhammad Sanusi, and the Oni of Ife said the celebrant's foresight, wisdom, and unusual capacity to mobilize people and resources to actualize dreams stand him out in leadership and governance.
You are an asset to this country. You are an asset to humanity.
Nasir represents for me most of the qualities we need to see in political leaders.
It's very obvious, by virtue of peer review amongst your other colleagues, you stand out.
It was encomium all the way, and best wishes from all quarters for more years with good health and prosperity.
Finding good people, making them do the work, is also a quality. I say it's not a quality, it's a blessing. The blessing of God. It's just luck.
All right.
In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
To other matters now. Is verbalizing your thoughts a signpost for insanity or a legit way to figure out things? External self-talk is relatively common among adults, although it can be embarrassing when someone catches you talking aloud to yourself.
In this special report, correspondent Alika Opanajaruwa takes a look at thinking aloud and how it relates to mental health.
Being caught talking to yourself, especially if using your own name in the conversation, is beyond embarrassing. Clearly, this is because the entire purpose of talking aloud is to communicate with others. But when we talk to ourselves silently, I don't just mean the odd, "Where are my keys?" But when we actually engage in deep mystical conversations with nobody else but our own thoughts to answer back, can be quite unsettling to those watching. But given that so many people talk to themselves, the question is, could it be normal after all? Or perhaps even healthy?
I feel it's very normal, it's very human, because it's the innermost thought, like, that is expressing itself aloud, you know. So I feel it's very normal with any human being, especially when you learn how to, like, you know, go and express your feelings out. Most of the times it comes out. It's just more of the reflex action.
But another thing you understand is that when I speak out sometimes, I find a way to solve that problem. Do you understand? You know, sometimes when I have it in my mind, I may not have that way to solve the problem, but when I speak out sometimes, you see the solution coming. It happens to me.
I think everything should be in moderation. So if something is getting out of moderation, then it's bad to me. So whatsoever it is, I learned that the only thing that is actually not too bad to do in excess is drinking water. But actually it's even bad. So anything out of moderation in excess is actually bad to me. So sometimes when people talk to me, oh, why are you talking to yourself? Then I know that, oh, maybe I'm getting to the extreme and I have to control myself.
Experts are of the opinion that this inner talk is very healthy indeed, having a special role in keeping the mind fit. They maintained that it helps organize one's thoughts, plan actions, consolidate memory, and modulate emotions. In other words, it helps human beings control themselves.
For some people who talk to themselves as a normal form of reassurance, you will notice that it is the frequency and the durations are different. You know, an individual who is talking to himself as a form of symptom of psychological disorder or psychological distress is a recurrent thing. The person can talk to himself from morning, afternoon, nights. It's continuous, and it goes on as long as the distress is not addressed. But for some people who talk to themselves to reassure themselves, to gain confidence, to assert themselves, it is once in a while.
Clinical psychologist Dr. Moses Tinge noted, however, that excessive talking to oneself, especially in public places or at odd hours of the night, accompanied with hyperactivity or hallucinations, may be a sign of an underlying mental health that might require medical attention.
Yeah, but when it comes to diagnosis, certainly you don't diagnose with just one symptom. So you need to actually have other things in place before you can conveniently say that somebody is exhibiting symptoms of a mental illness.
So there you have it. Talking out loud when the mind is not wandering could actually be a sign of high cognitive functioning rather than being mentally ill. Medical experts says it can even make people more intellectually competent. In Abuja, Alika Opanachi, Aroa, NTA News.
Well, I think Ed Sheeran is actually correct, thinking out loud. For me, it's thinking out loud and not hallucinating.
Certainly, and really, I don't see anything wrong with it, especially when it's not to the extreme, like one of the respondents talked about. It's more like you're having conversation with yourself and your board members. Really, but it's something that people should actually watch out for. There are undertones to some of these people talking out loud for themselves, really. It could, like you've already pointed out, something about worries, pressure.
Yeah.
So you must find a way of actually letting off those tones. I think it's better than keeping it to yourself.
And then, yeah. Important. All right, moving on now. The early universities key into the prospects of the unbundled mass communication as a course, the better for the sector. These educationists say would go a long way towards setting universities and students at par with global best practices. Joseph Johnson in this special report likens the unbundling to the growth of a tree.
Is a tree? Obviously, of course. It has a trunk, but many branches. And most times, the different branches grow their own fruits and leaves. That's supposed to be the case with most trees. At least, that's how nature has made it. Now, this also applies to other aspects of life. Like the trees,
Well, that's so much we can take on the news at 10 as we join our outside broadcast crew for a live telecast of the passing out parade of EFCC Detective Inspector Course 51 at NDA, that's in the permanent site at Taka in Kaduna. Thank you for watching the news at 10.
Nigeria will be reviewing the parade, a testament of his unwavering commitment to the fight against corruption. I am your guide, Maitama Adamu, inviting you to keep faith with the NTA as we capture every vision and voice that characterize this epoch passing out event.
officers, both serving and retired, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment we have been waiting for. I have the distinct honor and privilege to announce the arrival of the reviewing officer for the Personal Parade of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Detective Inspector's Course 5, President Muhammadu Buhari, Grand Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, President Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria. I most welcome Your Excellency, sir.
Somebody is touching those wires there.
Shall we please rise for the national anthem? We may please take to our seats, please.
Your Excellency.
Your Excellencies, the reviewing officer, sir, the parade commander, Cadet I. Muhammad, has just invited the reviewing officer to inspect the guard. Accompanying the reviewing officer for inspection of this parade is the Commandant, Nigerian Defense Academy, Major General J. Sarham. introduce them.
Your Excellency, the reviewing officer, sir. On parade today are 6 guards. Number 1 guard is commanded by Cadet Y.Y. Ibrahim and assisted by 3 sub-guard commanders. Instructor behind the guard is Warrant Officer Hassan Haladu. Number 2 guard is commanded by Cadet N.H. Igwe and assisted by 3 sub-guard commanders. Instructor behind 2 guard is Staff Sergeant Mondi Ayuba. 3 guard is commanded by Cadet K.B. Nuhu and assisted by 3 sub-guard commanders. Instructor behind 3 guard is Warrant Officer Joshua Okokun. Between 3 and 4 guards, we have the Color Party. Directly behind the Color Party, the reviewing officer, sir, is the mass band conducted by Major Ortega Igoriunu. Next, the reviewing officer, sir, is 4 guard, commanded by Cadet M. Abubakar and assisted by 3 sub-guard commanders. Instructor behind 4 guard is Staff Sergeant Jonah Musa. Next, the reviewing officer, sir, is 5 guard, commanded by Cadet N.I. Akpan and assisted by 3 sub-guard commanders. Guard instructor for 5 guard is Warrant Officer A.G. Ahmed. Lastly, the reviewing officer, sir, is number 6 guard, commanded by Cadet G.A. Loveday and assisted by 3 sub-guard commanders. Guard instructor for number 6 guard is Staff Sergeant Joshua Kase.
Your Excellency, the reviewing officer, sir, while the parade inspection is ongoing, permit me to inform you that the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission is arguably Nigeria's leading anti-corruption agency, established on April 10, 2003, as part of the government's efforts to ensure the delisting of Nigeria from 23 countries listed by the Financial Action Task Force on money laundering. As non-cooperative in international community's efforts to combat money laundering, the Commission has since been at the vanguard of championing the anti-corruption crusade in Nigeria. Since inception, the Commission has broken new grounds in the areas of recovery of stolen public funds, shattered ceilings of limitations in criminal prosecution, and expanded the frontiers of the fight against corruption in ways never imagined. High-profile cases have been effectively prosecuted by the Commission, as hitherto untouchables have had their aura of invisibility demystified. The Commission has secured more than 2,500 convictions, recovered billions of naira among other currencies from the corrupt, as well as property and asset in mind-blowing proportions. Its achievement, which are acknowledged the world over, has seen it become a reference point of excellence in criminal prosecution and a role model for other anti-graft agencies in sub-Saharan Africa. end of the parade inspection, the parade commander, Cadet I. Mohammed, has alighted the parade inspection vehicle, taking permission from the reviewing officer to continue with the parade, while the reviewing officer, accompanied by Commandant Nigerian Defense Academy on board parade inspection vehicle, is moving back to saluting dice. The parade commander is smartly marching to halt in front of the parade for the continuation of the parade. May I respectfully request the Commandant Nigerian Defense Academy to please invite the reviewing officer back to his seat. The Commandant, sir. Those of command from the parade commander, Cadet I. Mohammed, signifies the commencement of silent drill to be conducted by members of Number 1 Guards. Members of Number 1 Guard are marching forward to conduct the silent drill, a drill with no words of command, not even commentary from this desk. The cadets will execute series of calculated drill movements and precise handling of their personal rifles. Please do sit back and enjoy the silent drill.
This is silent drill coming to live from the parade ground of the Nigerian Defense Academy NTA Kaduna, venue of the ongoing passing out parade of EFCC Detective Inspector Course 5. The Chief Reviewing Officer and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, has since taken a review of the parade. This is a strategic partnership between the EFCC and the NTA that is just consolidating the gains of the EFCC in terms of anti-corruption war in Nigeria. These are young men and women that have undergone grueling military drills in terms of discipline, in terms of adherence, in terms of courage, in terms of assertiveness, with a view to ushering them as effective fighters of corruption in Nigeria. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, is an arguably Nigeria's leading anti-corruption agency that was established since April 2003. Ever since the establishment of this commission, a lot of gains have been recorded, and the commission, under the able leadership of Ibrahim Magu, has been working tirelessly to uphold and consolidate upon the gains and successes of the commission as achieved by his predecessors. This strategic partnership with the NTA is just towards giving the cadets of the EFCC the strong foundation they need to carry on with this fight against corruption and financial crimes. We are witnessing at this epoch event the graduation of 218 cadets of the EFCC that have been trained over several months here at the NDA so that they add value to the onerous task of fight against corruption. What is going on at the moment is what they refer to as silent drill. Live broadcast of the EFCC cadet passing out at the parade ground of the Nigerian Defense Academy here in Kaduna. The EFCC regularly recruits cadets into 3 cadres of its operations to cater for its wide range of operations. These include Detective Superintendent, Detective Inspectorate, and Detective Assistants. What we are witnessing at this moment is the graduation of the EFCC cadets that have undergone training under the Nigerian Defense Academy that are giving them rigorous, grueling training to make them more assertive, more courageous, more determined, and more focused in the attainment of the war against economic crime and corruption in Nigeria. His Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, is here on ground as a testament of his unwavering commitment to the war against financial crimes and corruption. According to him, we must rise to the challenge of killing corruption, otherwise corruption will kill Nigeria. His presence here is a testament of his commitment to this onerous challenge of making Nigeria corrupt-free. The EFCC has been on the vanguard of this fight against financial crimes and corruption.
Your Excellency, the Reverend Officer, sir, you will agree with me that such synchronized silent drill movement can only be achieved through discipline, which was installed on these passing out cadets by the Nigerian Defense Academy. May we please put our hands together for them, please. Police, roll quick down! Change direction, right! On the march! On the right! Right one! No march! Your Excellency, the Reviewing Officer, sir, very senior officers both serving and retired, senior officers, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, thus words of command from the parade commander, Cadet I. Mohammed, has just triggered the commencement of march past in slow time. The cadets are now marching, taking 65 paces per minute with no swinging of arms in a synchronized manner. May I please remind our esteemed distinguished audience that as the national color march past towards your pavilion, you are please expected to rise. Serving officers and warrant officers in uniform are please requested to salute. May I respectfully request the Commandant, Nigerian Defense Academy, to please invite the reviewing officer to the saluting dais. The Commandant, sir. May I once again remind our distinguished audience that as the national color march towards your pavilion, you are please expected to rise. Serving officers and warrant officers in uniform are please requested to salute. The Reverend Officer, sir, as we witness this historic passing out parade of 281 detective inspectors of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, it may interest you to know that the war against corruption peaked in 2006 under the leadership of Ibrahim Magu, the acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. His team, a renewed verve in fighting corruption, has since not diminished, with a remarkable record of 1,268 convictions secured in 2019, 315 convictions in 2018, 189 convictions in 2017, 194 convictions in 2016, and 103 recorded in 2015. The Commission has placed itself on a high pedestal, perhaps yet to be attained by any other anti-corruption agency in Nigeria. Championing the anti-corruption campaign of the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, the Commission has shown vigor and enthusiasm in executing corruption prevention strategies, as well as ensuring resilience in executing its prosecution mandate. This passing out parade of 281 detective inspectors cadets is indeed a remarkable milestone in this administration fight against corruption. It will add vigor and commitment to the EFCC Commission to combat the menace of corruption in Nigeria. Distinguished guests, as we witness the march pass in slow time, any moment from now, the parade will break into quick time march, which is done in the fast-paced manner, accompanied by the swinging of hands in a smart way. What we are witnessing now is a march past in quick time. May I remind this esteemed audience that as the national color march towards your pavilion, you are please expected to rise. Serving officers and warrant officers in uniform are requested to salute. Approaching the saluting dice is number 1 guard, commanded by Cadet YY Ibrahim, and assisted by 3 sub-guard commanders. Immediately behind number 1 guard is 2 guards, commanded by Cadet NH Igwe, and assisted by 3 sub-guard commanders. It may interest you to know that behind every guard on this parade, there is a guard instructor. These instructors are part of a team of Nigerian Defense Academy drill instructors who have been with these cadets on this parade ground the last 14 months, molding and instilling discipline in these cadets to be professional officers of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Today, they march full of pride and vigor behind their cadets, passing out cadets of Detective Inspectors Course 5. May I respectfully request the Commandant, Nigerian Defense Academy, to please invite the reviewing officer back to his seat. The Commandant. The parade commander is now dressing parade in preparation of marching in review order. That is a synchronized halting. Your Excellency, the Reviewing Officer, sir, very senior officers, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, the next item on our program is Acting Chairman, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission speech. May I humbly invite the Acting Chairman, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Mr. Ibrahim Magu, to please give his speech in commemoration of today's event. The Acting Chairman.
The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces, President Muhammadu Buhari, distinguished members of the National Assembly, ably represented by my chairman, Senator Suleiman Kwari, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, ably represented by my chairman, Representative Dutse, the Executive Governor of Kaduna State, His Excellency Governor Nasir El-Rufai, my brother from Kebbi State, Your Excellency, Governor Atiku Bakudu Abubakar, the service chiefs and representative of service chiefs, all members of the Federal Executive Council here present, members of the National Assembly, Commandant of the Nigeria Defense Academy, Royal Fathers, Head of MDS, Secretary to the EFCC, Commandant EFCC Academy, our friends, the civil societies, parents and guardians of cadet, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Let me start by expressing my profound gratitude to the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, for giving me the rare opportunity to host him at this special occasion of the personal parade of the EFCC detective inspectors cost 5. This is a further indication of Mr. President's goodwill and unrelenting support for the fight against corruption. I will hold this day dear to my heart, knowing that your presence here today is one of the strongest motivation for us in the EFCC. Your Excellency, our mandate at the EFCC, you say, go and kill corruption. I didn't hear any other instruction. I didn't hear go and maim corruption or go and diminish corruption. Because we have zero tolerance to corruption in the EFCC. If I can quote Your Excellency, sir, you said, if you don't kill corruption, corruption will kill Nigeria, unquote. As it is often said in our country, tackling corruption is a clarion call, given that corruption is a huge burden to the nation. It has spread its cankerous effect to all facets of our lives. Insecurity, poverty, unemployment, falling standard of education, weak access to affordable health care, failing infrastructure, questioning integrity of the electoral process, poor business environment, and lower GDP growth, to mention just a few, are all linked to corruption. Your Excellency, corruption is the biggest strategy to humankind. Your Excellency, corruption is worse than all the diseases now running about. And I strongly believe, Your Excellency, that even coronavirus is caused by corruption. Fighting corruption, therefore, Your Excellency, does a crusade against the evils of our society that are deeply rooted and threatening to consume us. We are aware that the task is not easy, and the path can be very thorny and lonely. But with the determination and high sense of mission, we are making progress toward rooting out disabled from our society. We all appreciate you. We all appreciate you as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for embarking on this mission. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the fight against corruption is a fight that must be won to secure a better future for our generation and the generation yet unborn. The mission to eliminate corruption in Nigeria assumed a more systematic posture from 2016 with the development of the National Anti-Corruption Strategy and National Anti-Corruption Action Plan, which were launched in 2017. The 5 pillars of this strategy contain prevention, public engagement, ethical reorientation, institutional training of anti-corruption agencies, enforcement, recovery, and management of proceeds of corruption. These strategic pillars have been reflected in the Federal Government Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, EGRGP 2017-2020. The plan to seek improved governance by entrenching transparency, accountability, and fighting corruption, reinforcing security, reforming the public service, and strengthening coordination with subnational government. The government has been diligently pursuing these core objectives without relenting and with much impact on governance. The EFCC, on its part, currently developing its statement of strategy for 2020 to 2025 in line with the 5 pillars of national anti-corruption strategy. This was preceded by an earlier strategy plan which was successfully implemented. Based on your commitment to national anti-corruption strategy, you approved the recruitment of additional workforce for the Commission to strengthen its capacity in the fight against corruption. Your Excellency, we thank you very sincerely, immensely, for this great support. Additionally, as part of vigorous pursuit of the enforcement mandate through institutional training, the Commission has created following new specialized directorate and section taking into cognizance the changing phase of criminality. These include Asset Forfeiture and Recovery Management Directorate, Forensic and Science Laboratory Directorate, Anti-Money Laundering and Countering the Financing of Terrorism Section, Foreign Exchange Malpractice Section, Forensic Accounting and Fraud Investigation Section, Cybercrime Section, Tax Fraud Section, Procurement Fraud Section, and we have the armed contest. Additionally, the Commission upgraded its polygraph service by training more professionals and upgrading the capacity of the polygraph machines, and we extended this service to sister law enforcement agencies in the country. The EFCC, with support of development partners, has also built one of the best investigative laboratories in West Africa. They are Digital Forensic Laboratory, Cybercrime Laboratory, and Biochemical Laboratory. These facilities have aided our investigators and prosecutors in achieving accuracy and deployment of incontrovertible evidence in court. Furthermore, Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have realized that the fight against corruption requires effective engagement with the public. For this engagement to be effective, 3 communication modalities are essential and need to remain open and active. The first is public sensitization and education aimed at information dissemination on the prevalence and dangers of corruption in our society and how to participate in prevention of corruption. The second mode is that of communicating the EFCC's achievement and activities to the public, educating the public, sensitizing the public. Because some people don't even believe that corruption is wrong. The third is the interactive mode, where feedback from public can be received and ideas exchanged through town hall meetings. These 3 communication modes relay many of our programs and activities. Your Excellency, sir, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to announce that the EFCC radio is on the verge of a takeoff. We thank President immensely for the support. In line with its strategic plan, the EFCC beam its searchlight on advanced fraudsters, otherwise called 419ers and Yahoo boys. The scourge of the activities of the Yahoo boys and the consequent dent on the national image motivated EFCC to plan and execute the great push against their nefarious activities, with a determination to flush them out and redeem Nigeria's national pride. Your Excellency, I can confidently report to you that as of today, over 500 internet fraudsters have been arrested just within the past 6 months, with many having been prosecuted and convicted. Their confidence has been eroded, and they are either hiding or on the run. The EFCC will continue to hunt them until their activities are eradicated. Your Excellency, the EFCC is not satisfied with just prosecuting and jailing these young, brilliant Nigerians. Rather, the Commission has concluded plans to reform them in collaboration with relevant government agencies toward making them better citizens. One of the greatest feats in the fight against corruption is the increase in the number of successful prosecution of corruption-related cases by the EFCC. Your Excellency, in 2015, we had 103 convictions. By 2016, we had 195 convictions were recorded. Your Excellency, 314 convictions were recorded in 2018, well, over 1,281 convictions were secured by the EFCC between 1st January 2019 to December 31st, 2019. I wish to note that the record of conviction in 2018 and 2019 alone is higher than the total convictions secured since the inception of the EFCC in 2003. Your Excellency, you initiated national anti-corruption strategy. You have implemented series of institutional and financial management reforms, thus creating an enabling environment for the fight against corruption. You have remained consistent and tenacious to your principle of non-interference in our work, and you have supported us through measures that strengthen the EFCC. This is one of the secrets of our success. I dare say that you are indeed a true champion of the fight against corruption in Africa. Your Excellency, we remain grateful and will continue to remain very loyal. What also worked for us at the EFCC is the increased level of efficiency and accuracy in investigation and increased appreciation by the judiciary of the dire need to fight corruption. Also important is the determined effort of our operatives, who are further motivated by greater public support. EFCC performance will only continue to grow and are more determined than ever before, given your unflinching support to rid Nigeria of corruption. We have demonstrated that there are no sacred cows anymore. We have successfully prosecuted several high-profile cases and many will come on board. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I may bold to say that EFCC has indeed come of age. The Commission has expanded its influence in the African region. The EFCC is collaborating with anti-corruption agencies in the Republic of Niger, Mali, Chad, Benin Republic, and the headquarters of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, organized a 2-day regional workshop in Abuja on the theme supporting good practice in promotion of legal migration and the fight against corruption at the border in October last year, 2019. The program was part of an initiative embarked upon in early February 2019 by the EFCC in curbing the movement of illicit funds and other transborder crimes among member states. The process culminated in an operational collaboration and MOU between EFCC with some West African member states. The Commission has hosted several African countries on study tour and training mission within the past few years. The most recent is 2 weeks training of officers of Liberian anti-corruption at the EFCC Academy. The EFCC will hold very soon, next month, 2 other countries from East Africa. Concluded the arrangement, they will come in for training. To our cadets, I congratulate you on your graduation. You are a unique set to have been reviewed by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This is an attestation of Mr. President's commitment to the fight against corruption. I wish to state that while the cadet will continue to relish this rare privilege, they are expected to demonstrate the highest level of motivation and commitment to the anti-corruption fight. Mr. President, the entire officers and men of the EFCC feel specially favored by your presence, and we promise we will not fail in our determination to win the war against corruption. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, let me tarry here and introduce to you the median edition of the EFCC's Digest, which is about now being circulated. It is the newest publication in the Commission's table. The articles are specially selected to give readers wider information scope on different areas of the Commission's operation. I now present to you, Mr. President, is being circulated, the median issue of the EFCC Digest, which was just unveiled and circulated at this juncture. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would like to once again sincerely thank and appreciate the presence of Mr. President and his entourage and everybody present at this occasion. I wish to use this opportunity to appeal to all Nigerians to take ownership of the fight against corruption. It's a national duty. It's a divine mandate. Everybody has a responsibility to fight what is wrong. If you can remove corruption in our polity, all this insecurity, etc., all the noises will stop. I thank you very much. I wish you and everybody present mercy as you go back to your different destination. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, the Acting Chairman, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, for this speech in commemoration of this passing out parade. Your Excellency, the Revenue Officer, sir, our distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, the next item on our program is a presentation of awards to deserving passing out cadets. Permit me at this point to humbly request Colonel S.S. Ahmed, Chief Instructor, Short Service Wing of the Nigerian Defense Academy, to please conduct this segment of the passing out parade. The CI Short Service Wing, sir.
Your Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, Grand Commander of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, Your Excellencies here present, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am Colonel S.S. Ahmed, the Chief Instructor, Short Service Wing, Nigerian Defense Academy. It is my honor to anchor the presentation of awards to deserving cadets of Detective Inspector Course 5. The presentation of awards to deserving cadets is a symbolic part of personal parades of the Academy. It is part of the academic recognition and excellence reward system meant to encourage cadets to excel. At the end of every training year, awards are presented to passing out cadets who distinguish themselves during their stay in the Academy. For today's parade, awards will be presented to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission cadets who emerge first in order of merit in departmental studies. Additionally, awards will be presented to the best cadet in common to service knowledge, as well as the cadet who exhibited an outstanding command and leadership attribute, starting with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Chairman's Award. This award is presented to the cadet who emerged best overall in common to service subject. The recipient of this award is EFCC/DIC 5/185, Cadet Abubakar Dan Asabe. Next is the Commandant Nigerian Defense Academy Award for Command and Leadership. This award is presented to the cadet who displayed a high standard of command and leadership attributes in the course of training. The recipient of this award is EFCC/DIC 5/186, Cadet Abubakar Muhammad. Cadet Abubakar Muhammad is the parade commander. Next is the Commandant EFCC Academy Award. This award is presented to the cadet who emerged third position in order of merit and best in legal studies. The recipient of this award is EFCC/DIC DIC-5/116, Cadet Aminu Gumel. Next is the Chief of Defense Staff Award. This award is presented to the cadet who emerged second position in economic and financial crimes core subjects and common to service subjects, and first in financial crimes subject. The recipient of this award is EFCC/DIC-5/202, Cadet Adiola Augustine. It's correct. Next is the Presidential Award, Gold Medal. This award is presented to the cadet who emerged best overall in Economic and Financial Crimes Commission core subject and common to service subject. The recipient of this award is EFCC/DIC-5/058, Cadet Agaku Francis Ikane. Cadet Agaku Francis Ikane also emerged best in operational studies.
May I humbly request the acting chairman, EFCC, to please invite the reviewing officer for the presentation of awards to the deserving gentlemen cadets of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The acting chairman, sir.
Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Chairman's Award, Cadet Abubakar Asabe. Commandant, Nigerian Defense Academy Award for Command and Leadership, Cadet Ibrahim Muhammad. Commandant EFCC Academy Award, Cadet Aminu Gumel. Chief of Defense Staff Award, Cadet Adiola Augustine. Presidential Award Gold Medal, EFCC/DIC 5/058, Cadet Agaku Francis Ikane.
That concludes the presentation of the award ceremony. I request the acting chairman to please invite the reviewing officer back to his seat. The acting chairman, sir. That smart sable drill was carried out by Corporal Michael Francis and Corporal Ahmed Mohammed of Nigerian Defense Academy Dre Wing. Your Excellency, the reviewing officer, sir, as part of his contribution to encourage the fight against corruption in Nigeria, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasiru Ahmed El-Rufai, has announced a cash prize of the sum of 250,000 naira each to the 6 award recipients. Next is the presentation of souvenirs to the reviewing officer. The souvenirs will be presented by the Commandant, Nigerian Defense Academy, and Acting Chairman, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. May I respectfully request the Commandant, Nigerian Defense Academy, to please make his presentation to the reviewing officer. The Commandant, sir. May I respectfully request the Acting Chairman, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, to please make his presentation. The Acting Chairman. Thank you very much, sir. Your Excellency, the reviewing officer, sir, very senior officers, both serving and retired, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. We will now have the honor and privilege of listening to the address of the reviewing officer, His Excellency President Muhammad Buhari, Grand Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, President Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria. May I humbly request the Commandant, Nigerian Defense Academy, to please invite the reviewing officer to the saluting dais. The Commandant, sir.
Please sit down. Your Excellencies, the governors of Kaduna and Kebbi states, members of the National Assembly, NTA, honorable ministers of police affairs and environment, senior government officials, acting chairman EFCC, commandant Nigerian Defense Academy, and other senior military officers present, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am pleased to be at this passing out parade of detective inspectors of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. I stand before you today with a sense of accomplishment. One of the specific objectives of the National Anti-Corruption Strategy and the National Action Plan on Open Government Partnership is to institutionally strengthen anti-corruption agencies in Nigeria. I approve the recruitment and the training of cadets, of different cadets, within a period of 3 years as a special force to fight corruption. I have also approved the opening of zonal offices of the EFCC. I am happy that steady progress is being made, as I am aware that within the past 2 years, 665 cadets have completed training and are usefully deployed to zonal offices. I have listened attentively to the report in the speech presented by Acting Chairman of EFCC. The report is an attestation that the right policies have been put in place to fight corruption, and the fight against corruption is becoming much more effective. I make bold to say that Nigeria is winning the war against corruption. I congratulate the EFCC on its good work, and I urge that the current level of success be sustained and accelerated. Our fight against corruption is being recognized by the international community as real and effective. The face of the country abroad is also changing as the international community is beginning to see Nigeria making substantial progress in the enthronement of transparency, accountability, and good governance. The President of the 7th session of the United Nations Convention Against Corruption had this to say when announcing Nigeria as Vice Chairman of Conference of State Parties. I quote, "It is an election well-deserved. Nigeria has demonstrated remarkable determination in the fight against corruption," unquote. Nigeria retained the position of Vice Chair of the 8th session. During the 10th session of the Conference of State Parties, the Implementation Review Group report also noted the high number of asset recovery cases successfully initiated by Nigeria in cooperation with other countries under the Mutual Legal Assistance Framework. The measures systematically being put in place to fight corruption through systematic reforms have also been yielding results. The reforms are aimed at eliminating discretionary behavior of public officials and disabling corruption. Many Nigerians measure the success of the fight against corruption from law enforcement perspective only. This means that the fight against corruption is reduced to the quantum of recoveries made and the number of cases successfully prosecuted. While it is important that we continue to fish out and punish corrupt persons, this government has equally been assiduously working on preventing corruption from taking place, thereby stemming it out of our system through the channels of series of institutional reforms. I have been working with the framework of National Action Plan for Open Government Partnership, National Anti-Corruption Strategy, which is an adaptation of United Nations Convention Against Corruption and the Global Forum for Asset Recovery. Several of the reforms have been effective for several years with great impact on revenue and expenditure management. These include the Government Integrated Financial Management Information System, Integrated FOI Roll and Personnel Information System, Single Treasury Account, and Bank Verification Number. Executive orders such as preservation of suspicious assets connected with corruption, Executive Order 6, Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit Act 2018, and Mutual Assistance in Criminal Matters Act 2018 have been operating for a few years and effectively limiting system opportunities for corrupt practices. This administration, right from the inception, aligned with the Open Governance Partnership and Global Forum for Asset Recovery, in addition to existing commitments to EU and ECOWAS conventions against corruption and the United Nations Convention Against Corruption. Excuse me. These frameworks focus significantly on systems reform in order to prevent corruption. Nigeria's active participation in these global anti-corruption platforms means that the country is subjecting itself to periodic review of its progress in implementing the Articles of Convention, thus the fight against corruption. Nigeria's action plan for open government partnership contain commitments such as fiscal transparency, disclosure of beneficial ownership of companies by Corporate Affairs Commission and Nigerian Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, open contracting data standards anchored by Bureau of Public Procurement and generally to curb corruption. Our objective is to institute a level of transparency in governance through mainly information technology platforms, just as advanced democracies and some developing countries. I am determined that within a short period, citizens will be able to follow core government operations online. We reach advanced stage in fiscal transparency. The appropriation bill is placed online within hours of its presentation in National Assembly. The Budget Office of Federation has been engaging interest groups in the budget cycle. A pilot scheme of 10 MDAs have been test running online display of their budget and expenditure movements. Our commitment to online disclosure of beneficial owners of companies generally within the framework of the Corporate Affairs Commission and in the extractive industries through Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative is on course. I am aware the portals have been ready, but owners of companies are unwilling to comply with all disclosure requirements. May I use this opportunity to urge all women Nigerians to fully comply. The Open Government Partnership Secretariat, in collaboration with Nigerian Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative and Facility for Oil Sector Transparency, is working hard to implement the open governance extractive commitments, which include full online disclosure of all oil, gas, and mining contracts in the area of exploration, production, exports, offtakings, and swaps. We have started quarterly disclosure by NNPC, its subsidiaries and pipelines, and product marketing company of sale-level data on oil and gas sales. We have also developed beneficial ownership register for companies that hold exploration, production, and export licenses and published online. We have made substantial progress in making available to the public data on all contracts across government agencies. The Bureau of Public Procurement has test run the Nigerian Open Contracting Portal where such data would be uploaded. The above described reform agenda implemented by this administration means that change has come to stay in Nigeria. My resolve is to ensure that the reforms are deepened such that there will be no hiding place for corrupt persons and proceeds of corruption. My aim is to ensure that no government financial transaction is done in secret and all are subject to public scrutiny. Nigeria has been ranked by World Bank as one of the top 10 reforming countries in the world. I assure you that we shall do even better. I understand that soon there may be need to introduce a legal framework enforcing reporting of all non-classified public sector operations online, just as in many other countries. This would facilitate quicker attainment of our goals on open governance and the decimation of corruption in the country. Given the increased success of Nigeria's anti-corruption agencies such as the EFCC, in the recoveries of proceeds of crime and successful prosecution of corruption cases, discussion on the management of such assets have been upscaled in the public domain. The commitment of the National Action Plan for Open Government Partnership states Nigeria's need for a coordinated and centralized agency for the management of recovered assets. It is in line with this commitment that I approve the Assets Tracing, Recovery and Management Regulation 2019. I am determined that the recovered assets are effectively managed with greater impact on fiscal operations of government and social investment policies of this administration. To the cadets, I congratulate you for persevering through the 1 year of intensive training. As law enforcement officers, I expect that you have attained high endurance level and the intellectual capacity to investigate, and EFCC's prosecutorial powers. Nigeria have great confidence in you. May I use this opportunity to appreciate the efforts of the Nigerian Defense Academy in the training of our young anti-corruption warriors. I expect that the collaboration between the military and the EFCC in training anti-corruption cadets will continue to the benefit of the nation. I thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, Grand Commander of the Federal Republic, President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Shall we rise for the national anthem, please? seated, please.
And with this elaborate ceremony presided over by the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Muhammadu Buhari, 281 cadets have been ushered onto the operational fold of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission as they pass out today at the Nigeria Defense Academy.
Your Excellency, Carabin Officer, Parade Commander Cadet I. Mohammed has just taken permission from the Carabin Officer to proceed with the final part of the parade, which is finally past the color and the rest of the personnel cadets of the parade ground.
Excellency, the Reverend Officer, that musical tune from the Nigerian Defense Academy Mass Band was composed by William G. Toma for his verses titled God Bless You Till We Meet Again. On this parade, this tune implies that these cadets came from different culture, diverse background, to train together as one family. As they leave this parade ground
today, this will be the last time that we march together like this. Many of them may not get to see others forever. As they begin their sojourn in the fight against corruption in Nigeria, these inspectors need your prayers and support to rid our country of all kinds of crimes. Your Excellency, the Ravine of Sasa, on behalf of the organizing committee, I'd like to thank you for being part of this event. The cadets passing out today, we congratulate them. To all our esteemed guests that happen to be with us today, wish you journey mercies to your respective destinations. Thank you, and God bless. I please remind this distinguished audience that there will be a group photograph in front of the headquarters of Nigerian Defense Academy. To accompany His Excellency, the Revenue Officer, for the group photograph, please note that the list I will mention is not in any particular order. To accompany His Excellency, we have the Executive Governor of Kaduna State, the Executive Governor of Kebbi State, Honorable Ministers, Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, Senate, Royal Fathers, Service Chiefs, and IGP, Commandant, Nigerian Defense Academy, Deputy Commandant, Nigerian Defense Academy, Acting Chairman, Economy and Financial Crimes Commission, Secretary to the Commission, Commandant, EFCC Academy,
Demonstration of high level of endurance and intellectual capacity is what the President expects of these 281 cadet officers just ushered onto the operational front of the EFCC. All is well that ends well, they say, and that's all that has been from the parade ground, Nigerian Defense Academy, venue of the passing out parade of these EFCC cadet officers. Thank you for being with us on the Nigerian Television Authority.